Fire, 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 fire.
We're gonna watch the Bungie situation, actually. Because, funnily enough, even though this is an old video and it was in the middle of me moving, so I didn't even fucking... Oh, God, I hate this fucking shit. What is it called? Is it Asti Cross? I think we've watched a video by him before. Yeah. It was this video. Let's get back on topic. I wanted to watch this video. I completely forgot. This was 10 days ago. Today, they announced the last update for Destiny 2. But I will watch this video regardless, because we've watched this guy before. He knows a lot about Destiny. Let's hear it out.
Oh, can I just say this image right here? This is our final shape.
Oh, no.
Myself, Frost,
No!
and ZK working at Mickey D's. This is truly the final shape, and we are...
The final form is being a McDonald's worker. No!
getting closer and closer to it. Most notably with the news here recently about Bungie. And let me just say, guys, it ain't good. I've been seeing a lot of things online. I've seen people try to pull some copium bullshit out of their ass saying, oh, no. This is actually a good thing. Or my favorite.
No,
this
it's not a good
part of
thing.
the process. This was the plan of Sony's all along. Delusional.
They
but
are.
not as delusional as the marathon community. Oh yeah, you fuckers.
Oh
Believe me,
yeah,
Destiny
marathon.
players, we have been
Marathon, like at least Destiny 2 had a really good time up until that point, and there was a decent amount, like a good pocket playing. Marathon doesn't even have a player base. What is it like? Maybe 20,000 people playing it, or 10,000 people playing it on Steam right now.
and we have been submerged in the copium. But you guys are running in head first.
Holy,
Get
is that
into it, my
DJ
man.
Khaled?
But let's get into the news. Hold on. Let me pull this up. So
5K,
I'm on vacation
oof.
this week, and this is what I woke up to. PlayStation's reported a $765 million impairment loss due to underperformance by Bungie.
They bought Sony. How much did they pay for them? Like 1 billion? Yikes, man. Yikes.
Now, if you remember what I said leading up to this earnings call, I told you guys that we were in speculation territory. You know what I'm saying? Yes, there was an impairment at the end of last year, if y'all remember that. No, it did not go against goodwill, but still not a good sign. And I told you guys Strike 2 would be another impairment. Strike 2 and 3 would have been an impairment and also against goodwill. Now, as far as I'm understanding, it didn't go against goodwill, but it still is an impairment nonetheless. And there seems to be some copium about this, where the same folks that came out and say, don't worry, this is just an accounting thing. They're also the same people that come out and say, don't worry about it. When you buy something that's for your business, it's a business expense. As if that
You can't write it
free.
off, though.
That's not how...
I'm not convinced that people, like, I've made jokes about, you know, people writing off losses on their taxes. I don't think you can write off, like, what is it, 700 million or 600 million on your taxes. The IRS is gonna come after your ass, dude.
That works, guys. When you say something, oh, I'm gonna write it off, it doesn't make that item or whatever, that expense, free. Okay, so the impairment
Hollywood
here,
does it all the
essentially
time.
really
I
boils
don't think
down
they
to is,
do.
well, Bungie's assessed value is obviously not as much as Sony originally thought. I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, we could have all kind of assumed that. Let's just say this, though. Because Pete Parsons, by the way, he's on some tropical island somewhere, sitting in one of his 35 exotic...
That's what Bobby Kotick did when he sold off Activision Blizzard to Microsoft. He was probably so happy. He got a golden parachute ready. He was just chilling after he left, and he sold it off finally.
Of course. And can we just say, I don't like what he did to Destiny or Bungie, but man, my man's straight up a villain. He came in there, he talked the talk, said Bungie had all these incubation projects. Again, we're cranking on Destiny, we're cranking on Marathon. We got gummy bears, we got Destiny Payback. Oh yeah, we are live service gods. Everything we touch turns to gold, and we've got...
Yeah, but the people who made Halo, like Bungie, like they are not the same people who made that possible. Didn't they all jump ship by like Halo 3, again, I'm not a huge Bungie person, like, hear me out. Forgive me if I'm, like, you know, not exactly, like, super well-versed, but I feel like a lot of the core just, like, jumped ship. There's still devs that work on Halo. I know, but, like, it's still not that many. Like, the people who made World of Warcraft Classic, or not World of Warcraft Classic, like 2004 World of Warcraft, like, maybe 1 or 2 people are left. And that's it.
Got 4 or 5 more live service games. And Sony was like, all right, how much? And Pete was like, I don't know, man. Billions, probably. And unfortunately, that's what Sony paid. Now, yes, there's some accounting benefits right now to the impairment. But regardless, whether you were Microsoft back in the day with Mojang, whether you're Tencent with Riot, when you buy any asset, you know, you want it to have a good return. And I can promise you, that's the alternative that Sony would rather have right now. They would rather have Bungie be exactly what they said they were going to be. You know what I mean? I've yapped long enough. Sony backs Marathon even after $765 million in Bungie impairment losses. So this was from Paul Tassi.
Dude, Sony's just taking L's after L's. They have Concord too that they had to answer for. Concord is a huge loss for them. Wasn't that like 200 million? Gosh, I'd have to look it up. How much did Sony lose on Concord? 400 million. That's estimated. Oh my lord. Holy shit.
This was published just the other day. Paul's been catching a lot of heat online.
Gosh.
A lot of people in the Marathon community. Not many of them, you know what I'm saying?
Aha!
They're pretty vocal. While most of Sony's recent earnings news this week was positive, there was one very glaring red mark in the books. That would be Bungie, which Sony revealed another $565 million in impairment losses, joining the $200 million it had announced previously. Despite that, Sony said it is backing Bungie's recent underperforming release, Marathon, and continues to support the studio, but there's a lot to dissect here, so let's go through it. What is now $765 million in impairment losses against Bungie is not something as simple as Bungie games are $765 million in the red. Rather, what impairment losses are doing is acknowledging that Bungie is not as valuable of an asset as Sony.
They got fleeced. They got absolutely fleeced. How much did Microsoft pay for Activision Blizzard? 69 billion. And by the way, the 69 billion includes all of Activision Blizzard with mobile games like King Games, which makes an insane amount of money compared to like Blizzard and whatever the fuck else they have. I think Activision, yeah, 69 million, yeah. But I bet they shook hands on that one.
They thought it was
69.
when it bought it for $3.6 billion, so it keeps knocking that number down. Sony, looking ahead to fiscal year 2026, says it believes those impairment losses for Bungie will be absent or at least way less than the 1 billion yen, 565 million from this year. It remains rather wild that Sony ever thought Bungie was worth 3.6 billion, which is eyebrow-raising at the time. And from an outside perspective, it still seems that it's probably worth less than Sony is saying.
How long ago did they buy them?
I mean, look, we talk a lot of shit about Pete, but if there's one thing that Pete seemed to have done his job well on,
he sold it for a lot of money.
Getting the biggest price possible for Bungie. I also think this was a knee-jerk reaction.
2.5 years ago? That was after the COVID bubble pop too, which is like really, really surprising. Yeah.
Time because Sony was getting a little scared with what was happening on the Xbox side. Lots of acquisitions. Of course, the thing that was leading up to the big acquisition of Activision, right? It almost reminded me, although this is a much bigger scale, but it reminded me years ago whenever every platform was buying content creators. If y'all remember that. Everybody was trying to lock in content
Mixer,
creators and exclusive deals. And it really just took Mixer.
Mixer. My God, what a failure.
Going out for them to finally be like, whoa, this is not sustainable. It's a situation like this, but on a much bigger scale. And obviously, you know, you have tangible products that go alongside it outside of, I guess, influencer. Despite this, Sony has at least publicly backed Bungie's continued work on Marathon, saying players' reception to Marathon is strong, receiving a Metacritic score of 82 and more than 90% of the...
How many people are playing Marathon right this second, though? Like... that is a live service game, and I feel like there's nobody streaming it. Arc Raiders, Hearthstone. Hearthstone has more players? Hold on. Marathon. Hello? What is, like, no one's streaming this shit? What the fuck? Marathon category. High to low. Wow, the maximum. Wait. Oh no. The highest viewership is 300 people in one stream. Man, that is a death sentence. A live service game has to have like at least a decent amount of streams, man. Single player, I can see why like a good game, for example, Elden Ring, like why nobody's streaming it. I mean, there's still a decent amount that do. But a live service game has to have like at least a couple thousand, like over maybe I want to say like 2,000 players that stream it. Then I wouldn't consider it dead.
Player reviews on Steam being positive. Engagement metrics such as retention also remain at a high level. Going forward, we aim to improve the performance of the game by working to retain highly engaged core users through the introduction of additional content, further improvements in the gameplay experience, and expansion of the user base. Yeah. I mean,
nobody wants to play a dead game. I've felt this way about MMOs. I don't know about you guys. Maybe you guys don't play MMOs, but when you get invested in a game, say for example, you want to play Ark Raiders, or you want to play what's another game? Like a new COD. You don't want to play a game that nobody's playing, because it's like queue times are long. You're gonna face the same people over and over. It's cringe. You're probably gonna fight people that are way better than you because the matchmaking's fucked up. Like, I don't want to do that as an MMO gamer. And I always have to like double, triple check when I'm playing like on a private server or on an MMO. Like, you just have to have other people around you. Part of the experience having lots of player interaction. Yeah, you don't want to fucking fight the same people over and over again.
I think the main thing is like the people that are still playing Marathon, they're playing a lot of it, you know. Personally, I think Destiny is the better investment. And I know Marathon people, you're going to come for my neck right now, but I just think it is. I think it has a more interesting universe.
There are more people streaming Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green than people streaming Marathon. Fire Red and Leaf Green came out in like 2002. That's crazy bad.
I think that the foundation
that's really bad.
Solid. I think right now they're seeing some like high retention numbers, but that tends to happen. For instance, this is a very small piece of what I can offer here from personal experience, but like if I drop a video on my channel, what you normally find is the videos with the least amount of views have the highest retention.
It's a niche. Yeah, sure. I can understand that.
Actually interesting in that particular topic, or in this case, a community is actually engaged with Marathon and its IP, tend to play the fuck out of this. Or in my case,
but I would also argue that this guy, I know this guy because I've watched his videos before. He makes quality content for this niche thing. There are World of Warcraft content creators that people clamor onto because they make good content because they're one of the only people. But you know what I noticed is that all of the shooter kind of like oriented gamers, they don't fucking stream Marathon. I think they only did the ads for like the sponsorships and then they dropped it. Like, I'm pretty sure like Peanut played it, Shroud played it, Summit played Marathon for a little bit, I think, right? Like, they only did the sponsorships and then they never picked it up again. They just went back to their regular scheduled programming. Got that paycheck? Well, I don't blame them. I'm not saying that it was like a bad thing. I'm just saying like all the people that are like it's supposed to cater to, they don't fucking stream the game. Like, I looked at it. There's like 2,000 people streaming it right now, and it's like 2,000 viewers overall. Sorry, I didn't mean to say like streamers, but they like 2,000 people are watching it.
You know, they'll watch 3-4 times the amount.
Shroud hated it. Nah, I'm sure he had his reasons.
And of course, there's a lot of variables that's involved in that. So. It's interesting how that goes. It's like the further something keeps refining down, yes, those players will be the ones that play the shit out of your game. That optimism seems unwarranted if you've been tracking the performance of the game, which has continually lost players since launch with no signs of anything resembling a turnaround. Even as moves have been made to appeal to more casual players. On PC, its main platform, it's about to dip below Destiny 2's nightly numbers.
Wow.
And an 11-year-old game that is in the middle of its longest content drought in its history.
And they just, I think probably 6 hours ago, announced that Destiny 2 was finally going to get the nail in the coffin because they can't support it anymore. Destiny 2 is finally kicking the bucket, chat.
Even if Sony is saying
This
this
is 10
now,
days
there's nothing
ago,
to guarantee
granted.
a lack of poor outcomes for Bungie, including layoffs, reduced costs, which in turn would mean less investment in these games, which would likely mean fewer players, a spiral we've already seen with Destiny. It's very clear that Bungie does not currently have enough resources to produce enough content for Destiny 2, the studio now tilting in favor of Marathon in terms of total devs aside, and that isn't going well either. I think Paul's referring to his insider stating that there's now officially more developers on Marathon than Destiny.
They weren't lying. They weren't lying.
Destiny 2 simply
That
wasn't
little
mentioned
insider
at all,
knew.
which is disconcerting for what was Bungie's flagship franchise and now a game that has no clear roadmap for the future. Fans are hoping that Destiny 3 may soon be announced, but there are no indications that is going to be the case, and that would likely have to come with a near total shutdown on work on Destiny 2 for years to come. I tell you this, guys, from what I looked
could
at
never
in the
get
earnings
into
call,
Destiny.
I'm not hopeful of a sequel for Destiny. Everything that was
Even the people, even though Destiny 2 had its own slew of issues, I think the core of the game was really fun because Destiny 1 was so popular. I'm going to say D2 from now on because it's long. It's a long word kind of. I think D2, like, you are still don't have all the game devs that made D2 what it is now.
mentioned in the earnings call, or the lack of Destiny being mentioned, makes me feel like there's just Destiny 3 is probably not getting made. But there is no imminent
These
plug
nuts.
pulling a Marathon, which I've always predicted will get at least a year of content to see if it could find an audience. Nor do I believe Sony is on the verge of closing Bungie itself, even if its value has fallen as an asset.
Marathon trying to encroach on a market that's basically dominated by like Tarkov and like Arc Raiders. I just, dude, it's such a niche community. Like, I feel like the people that enjoy Tarkov are like a very niche few.
After all, it's asset that...
What's with the copycatting? Because they want to make money. It's not copycatting, obviously, but like they want to get a bite of the cake and they are not getting it because they already competing with other people in a genre that's pretty fucking oversaturated at this point. Yeah, market chasing, trend chasing, exactly.
Sony is still valuing at billions, mind you. This is not Concord, the Sony game made by a brand new studio that arrived with 700 concurrent PC players, where both were shuttered. But to say the good news coming out of all this is, well, at least Bungie and Marathon weren't just publicly executed. That's not exactly a great place to be. It's almost entirely bad news, and this idea that Bungie can necessarily turn Marathon around is not something that reflects the reality on the ground. Not from any data we could see. The studio continues to navigate choppy seas, but Sony is not yet scuttling the ship. First up, you guys have been giving Paul so much heat on his coverage. And it's been coming directly from the Marathon community, as if he's painting an overall negative picture when there's really no other way to see it. I guess retention is good for the people that are playing Marathon. That's cool, but no one's fucking playing it. If I pull a look, I hate to be this guy. I'm about to be this fucking guy. Let me pull this shit up. Here we are.
It's from 10 days ago. Fallout 76 is on par. Oh my god. Yo, Silksong's been out for months and they're still doing better. Raft, Magic the Gathering Online, like, it's a fucking mobile game. Like, are you kidding me?
Marathon. It's Sunday. It's Mother's Day. Marathon players, maybe they just really love their moms. Completely fine. I understand.
Yeah, right.
9,974 players.
They're extraction
Destiny
shooters.
2
What the fuck do you mean?
is currently beating that. And we don't have shit in Destiny right now. You know that? Not shit.
Yep.
Nothing has happened in Destiny. Like, nothing. Now, you could say, well, maybe Destiny 2
10-year-old
players
game,
just
man,
don't
by the
like
way.
their mothers. There. Knock it off with the Marathon hate. Believe me, brother, I'm not hating Marathon. The fault really lies with Bungie on this. Okay. However, imagine this.
I don't blame the
Imagine
devs.
There they stand.
Directly.
Destiny and Marathon. And I had to choose which one to let go. You know what I mean? Imagine the Titanic going down.
You have a loyal, like, base that wants Destiny 3. That's what bums me out about this. They're willing to, like, basically pull the plug on Destiny 2. Like, I'm not a Destiny 2 fan. I don't have any horse in this race, but I feel like logically, as a gamer, it makes sense. Or Destiny Classic. Yeah, like, why not just do that? At least you'd get to milk more of the people's wallets. Like, I don't want to be mean, but like Destiny 2 already had all those people getting fucked over by not refunding them for expansions that they literally fucking removed, for content that they removed that costed like, what is it, like $30-$40? I'm pretty sure. They literally just like evaporated that in like a heartbeat. You don't think that that fan base is beaten enough that they wouldn't spend money on Destiny Classic or Destiny 3?
And there's only one life raft available.
Yeah.
And only Destiny 2 could get on, or Marathon could get on. Even in its shittiest state, its lowest low, I would get Destiny 2 off that ship well before Marathon. Matter of fact, I would strap Marathon down with cinder blocks. Put him all the way in the bottom of the ship.
He's a Destiny 2 player though, but even I have to agree. That would just be so bad.
And make eye contact with him all the way down. Look. We're gonna have this dance. We're gonna do it. We're gonna watch and see how it goes. I already told you guys that I had a feeling Bungie was about to ice, or Sony was about to ice Destiny's IP. That doesn't mean they're killing it. That just means for the foreseeable future, it's gonna have minimum investment. And Marathon, they are going to try to pull a Forsaken. They are going to try to pull a Taken King. And
that's expansions for those that don't know.
I will be around, and we'll see. We'll see.
He doesn't know they're pulling the plug, chat. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. This video is 10 days old.
But here's what I truly believe. I don't believe Marathon will be able to turn things back around. That's not to take away from the guys at Bungie working on Marathon who are probably putting their heart and souls into it. I just personally don't think Marathon is going to be able to turn it around. Not to the degree that Sony wants or that Bungie needs. I'll put it to you like this. Do you think Marathon right now has an all-time peak of 88,337 players? My ass, man. I mean, I was in copium land leading up to the launch of Marathon, and I was like, it won't break below 100,000 players. Brother, it didn't even go over that. It didn't even touch it. But no.
That's
for real.
so painful,
Do you
dude.
think that it's going to go over 88,337 players in season 2 or season 3? Or if they did like a big 1-year launch, do you think it will go over that number?
High Guard tried and they failed. I think Marathon is gonna just die. Only going free to play. I don't think that'll make a difference. I think that extraction shooters already are their own like massive niche genre, and I don't think that like being free to play is gonna just like make a difference. It's just not.
Only going free to play. I have said it for a while now that Bungie should really consider not going completely free to play, just adding one map and making it a free to play map. You know, it can literally be sponsor kits. People can jump in there, mess around, and you might get some conversions. Will there be cheaters? Of course. But you might get some conversions. And if anything, you could pad the stats a little bit. But even then, guys, I don't know, boys. I would be very, very surprised. I'd be very surprised if it gets over that number. I just feel like so many people have already made up their mind about Marathon. You know what I'm saying? And sure, the people that are playing Marathon, you know, they're enjoying it. Glad they are, you know? It's tough, man. It's tough. Marathon community, I give you guys shit. But I
don't want to like say either that you have to like look at streamers to see if they're enjoying the game, but I do think streamers attribute to like how people perceive and want to engage with the game. Currently, even Football Manager 2024 has more players than Marathon on Steam. That's fucking sad. That is so sad. That's the 2-year-old outdated version of Football Manager release.
definitely enjoyed my time playing Marathon. To me, it's a seasonal game. And so I'll jump back in, you know, probably when a new season launches. If there's something big coming each launch. If it's just like, hey, get ready to do all your faction quests all over again and re-earn all the same shit again. You know what I'm coming from? Which very likely that is the case. Then my time playing each season is going to be probably much less. With that being said,
we were supposed to get 2 more expansions in Destiny 2 over this next year. Now we're not getting anything. Yeah, because they were relying. I'm stating the obvious here. I think people are gathering that now. But Marathon releasing and failing made Destiny 2 get the plug pulled on them. It's very simple. They just had to fucking be like, nah, fuck that. Nope, we can't do that.
I think Destiny is the better game. I think it's the stronger IP. I think it's the sexier.
Yeah, they
game.
actually have an established community. And even though it's very small and it is very niche, I do think that they should have put their eggs into this basket.
I think that it's just better on every level. I think it looks better, it feels better, it shoots better, it plays
This guy
better.
glazes,
It's
but
just
he's
better.
right. He is.
So much better. I can't express just how much better Destiny is. And
Like, even I know who this guy is. He's like a main character, like protagonist, whatever the fuck. Or is he an antagonist? I don't know. I know his face.
Destiny 1
It's recognizable,
better, okay?
at least.
Destiny 1 fucking kills Marathon. Look, Marathon is a fun time. I have a good time playing Marathon. But there's no world in which I would choose Marathon over
He's
Destiny.
dead?
Okay?
Killed and retconned? Aw, man.
I could do it. I would execute Marathon for
That's
Bungie.
cringe.
All right. If this is a
I
tough
just know his
decision for them,
face.
dude, not even 2 minutes in a pillow. I fucking got this shit. And then we can
They
get back
choked
to
him
making new
out.
Destiny. I'm gonna be honest. If they dropped the Destiny Classic right now, he would beat the shit out of Destiny 2 and Marathon. Combined.
Nathan Fillion? Wait, we found Fillion?
You don't want this fight, Marathon community. Destiny 2 community, y'all don't want this fight either. If a Destiny Classic dropped on PC right now, he would beat the piss out of both these games. No, I don't think Marathon is the worst game at all. There's so many things.
No, it's just competing in a market that you can't compete in. Sorry.
That went wrong, man.
It's the same shit as... Again, I'm sorry it has to go back to WoW, but back in 2013, there were so many games that came out that wanted to be the WoW killer, and then they couldn't compete because WoW had such a big, gigantic hold on the player base of MMOs. And the only thing that broke that was Final Fantasy, and that's because they did everything that Blizzard could not at the time, and they were competing with them directly, which is actually a good thing. I'm not a Final Fantasy like Giga fan, but I respect it because it actually made Blizzard reconsider what the fuck they were doing, but it was already too late by that point. But my point is like, you're competing in a fucking market that has already had a huge stranglehold on everybody's nuts.
So many things. Dude, I'm gonna be telling my grandkids about this if they're even gonna care. You know what I'm saying?
Aww,
they're gonna be like,
it's gonna be
Grandpa,
Gramps.
tell us a story. And I'm gonna be like, the story can go many ways. It could be like, I'm gonna tell you a story about a studio that made an epic comeback.
Yeah,
by
Wild
becoming
Star,
completely
Rift,
community
yep.
driven, and I'm gonna
That was
show
a big
you
one.
where it fell and where they picked it back up. Or I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna tell you a story of a studio that chopped their own dick off. And chop the testicles off.
Holy!
And shit on everything. They just shit on everything. And they're gonna be like, Grandpa, tell us that story. How did
Tell
this
us
company
that
chop
story,
their own balls and
Gramps.
dick off? Well, there's a guy named Pete. Pete said, I got a lot of shit. Turns out, Pete didn't have nothing except cars. And that's how the story goes. It's unfortunate,
Yep.
man. Marathon was supposed to come out at least a year ago. It's
Wait, is he the guy with lots of antique cars? I'm suddenly remembering looking into this like 2 years ago when this happened. That's that same guy? Oh my god, that makes so much sense. Yeah, the old CEO was a massive antique car collector. Yeah, they cost thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
bad, dude. Everything.
Jay
that could go
Leno?
wrong
No,
did go
no.
wrong.
It's a different
Alright,
guy.
Can you imagine working on Marathon? Can you imagine just being like a
sold that
developer
shit,
for
bro.
just Marathon? You don't work on Destiny. You never worked at Bungie. You finally get hired on. You get hired on a Marathon. You show up and you're like, yeah, leadership seems cool as shit. Then a week goes by. Leadership
Uh-oh.
fucking gone. Christopher Barrett laid off. Why?
Ooh.
Truth or dare? Truth or dare? Too much. Shouldn't do it at all. Shit happened. Leadership changes. All right. Oh, simultaneously, tons of other layoffs happening in the studio. All those people you met that work on Destiny, they're all fucking getting laid off
God damn, lots of McDonald's employees, man. That
or
sucks.
leaving. And so you're like, damn, dude, this is
McDo.
really scary. I just showed up here. I just started working last week and fucking so many things happening. And then new leadership comes in, that being Ziegler. Ziegler comes in and he's like, listen, I'm from Valorant, and the way Marathon looks like right now looks like shit. We're going to change everything. And look, nothing against Ziegler. I think Ziegler's got a great mind, but it takes time. Then Ziegler's like, all right, let's fucking, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. And then the time keeps extending. Okay. Keeps extending. And then when they feel like they're like, all right, we're almost there. We're almost to the promised land. They launched the alpha. Now alpha
And the
wasn't
alpha
received
sucked.
that well. Huh?
And it was like Concord. Concord had a big, well, not big, but like a relatively substantial alpha where like, you know, thousands of people played. Oh my God. Marathon was actually worse than that.
The
That says a
alpha
lot.
looked like shit. Let's just be clear. It looked like shit. Wasn't received well. But the thing that really hurt them the most is that inside the alpha was a bunch of in-game assets with decals of another artist.
Oh yeah, that shit was bad.
Thus, the art scandal formed. It sucks, man. It sucks. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. I've said it still. It's kind of amazing that Marathon even made it. Like, it's really amazing Marathon made it out the door. So if you work that hard just to get Marathon out the door, of course Bungie and Sony are going to commit resources to it. And they're going to play this dance for probably a year. The question is at this point, and this is the point that hurts the most, is one, is there going to be layoffs following this impairment news?
Absolutely.
Two, where are the layoffs going to hit?
It was today. It was today. He doesn't know. Yeah.
Are they going to hit more on the Destiny side? Are they going to hit more on the Marathon side?
We know now. Destiny's getting the fucking shaft, man. He made a video about today's news. I know, but I wanted to intentionally watch this one because retroactively, it's quite interesting how he kind of like is almost alluding to it without knowing.
And let me just say, man, I don't think either side can really lose many people at this point. You know what I mean? And those are the people that are, I mean, they're the ones that are going to be living through this.
You freaking knew,
I think
man.
my biggest issue with everything that has happened over really since Bungie's been acquired by Sony, there was a large amount of funds set aside to retaining talent. And my question is what the happened to that? If that was set aside to retain talent, then why didn't we retain talent? Why didn't we find a way to keep Chris Proctor? Why didn't we keep Joe? Why didn't we keep Mark Noseworthy and Luke Smith? Why didn't we keep Michael Salvatore? Sure, some of you are going to say, but
because
they left
it costs too much
accord.
money.
Obviously, people got paid. There are people that definitely got fucking paid. But in terms of retaining your top talent, your narrative team from Final Shape, what happened to retaining those people?
Marathon press release with bust amount of pronouns and zero enthusiasm didn't help. If the game was good, people would overlook it. That's all I'm saying, man.
I'm just saying, guys, I would not be surprised if Destiny goes into maintenance mode after this next expansion. I wouldn't be surprised if, at best, we get a Renegade style expansion per year with your normal cadence of other things like Guardian games, holiday events. You see where I'm coming from? Cross is killing Destiny fans right now. Guys, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I want us to be prepared for this, okay? I think it's kind of likely. Okay, just based off of everything we've seen. And I think that, unfortunately, I think there's going to be another wave of layoffs. It may not happen until later in the summer, but I do think that there's going to be another wave of laws. I hate that, but
yeah, he predicted it. He knew. He knew.
I'm not hopeful that a Destiny 3 is being made right now. Which blows my mind.
Probably
it
not.
Seems stupid as to not make a Destiny 3. That would obviously print. It's not until Marathon is stable. Right. I don't know if Marathon is ever going to reach that point. Based on what their history is, I would say Bungie feels confident since their success with the Taken King.
Ooh, who's this chick?
Success with Forsaken. These are the
She's kind of hot.
annual expansions that follow the release of Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. They feel very confident that their year 2 turnaround can change the
Mara
course of the game.
Sov. Man,
However,
she can Mara my Sov.
Destiny.
Damn.
And I say this with love, Marathon community.
They're all gay?
Marathon
Fuck.
ain't Destiny.
Damn.
All right? There are people that
Space
like your
Oceans,
game.
that's
I
cool.
like it too sometimes, but it's not Destiny. In regards to gummy bears and Team LFG, nothing was said about them. Probably not going to hear anything about them until whatever it is that they're working on is coming out, probably. And keep in mind, what Team LFG really showcased is that Sony is completely willing to take individual games within...
Well, they have to take chances now because they're going to flop so hard after Marathon and Concord, dude.
Bungie and siphon them off and put them under
not
PlayStation
too
Studios.
hot,
That's
not
really
too
what
hot.
that shows. The question is, are they going to do something similar with Marathon? I'd be surprised, but maybe. I don't know. Whatever the case, obviously it showed some levels of promise because then they pulled it out from underneath Bungie and established Team LFG. Yeah, look, there is a way out of this. I want everyone to know there is a way out of this, but it involves heavy investment back into the Destiny side of things. I just don't see
Well, they're not going to do that now. That's for sure.
that happening from Sony right now. Are you sure it's not just a skill issue? Well, it could be a skill issue. It could be the fact that some of your greatest talent that worked at Bungie left, and therefore quality of content has gone down. You know what I'm saying? It's like those two go hand in hand. Look, I don't agree with everything Luke Smith did or said. You know where I'm coming from? But tell me you didn't get a little excited every time you saw Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy on the screen. Tell me, because
is he like the Chris Metzen of Destiny? Like the hype guy?
What did they represent? What did those two guys represent?
Yes, okay.
Right? You knew you were going to get fooled.
I did. I would be lying if I said I didn't get a little bit hyped when Chris Metzen would sometimes like come on screen and fucking hype up the game. He was the hype man. Now I don't trust him anymore, but you know, he did do some great things.
Bad.
He did in the past.
You don't really know, but it still brought a level of excitement. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna lie, going into Final Shape, when Luke Smith came on and he was like, "This is definitely not it."
Him, Jesus
And after
Christ,
the Final
man.
Shape is launched,
my Lord.
we'll be back to talk more about
cheese
that.
and crackers, man.
Dog it! I was so hopeful, man.
Hell yeah.
Like, oh, shit, they're doing it, boys. They're doing it. They're gonna make it. They're gonna make a D3. It's all coming together. And somehow those guys essentially got let go. I know they left, but you know where I'm coming from. What would I do to save Destiny? Can I just say Destiny is so just intertwined with the corporate world that I don't know how to navigate this. You know what I'm coming from? This isn't just like, hey, here's a single studio who owns an IP, who has creative freedom and direction here to try some things and mix things up. This isn't like we can go
for
in there
years. Well, yeah, I mean,
make a
that's
few
how long it's been
sandbox tweaks
going.
and changes here, or throw in Pantheon 2.0. There's just so much intertwined in this.
I also read that the final update that they announced today was actually including something that the players have been asking forever, and people are malding out because that means like, why did you not put this in earlier when people were like, you know, still invested in the game? Now you're putting it in like later on. Pantheon, I don't know, I don't play the game, but like I was just reading the comments and it was like, wow, like that would bum me the fuck out if I was a Destiny fan.
That, yes, I could sit here and say we can follow the same roadmap that RuneScape followed with essentially old school RuneScape launch.
They could never
do a classic launch. You can roll out that content over a year time frame instead of stretching out, of course, over 3 years. So that just wouldn't make sense. You could start with the OG sandbox. You can create goodwill by allowing Red War campaign and Forsaken to be in a playable state in some way. I don't know how you figure out that way, whether that be in a D2.
Why would they do that now after they removed they removed entire sections of content without refunding the players? They know their players would bend over backwards for them. No offense, Destiny players. I'm just saying.
Or even
like,
maybe
they know what they're gonna get away with.
Download, but I don't know.
Destiny died so Marathon could die.
That would establish some level of goodwill. The community would see that and go,
man,
all right,
oh man, that's rough.
We appreciate this. You know what I mean? We appreciate you at least trying. We still remember. We don't forgive you, but we appreciate it. All of this is to tee up the future, which would be a D3. Here's the problem with everything that I just said right now. Sony has to okay it. They have to say, all right, sure. And right now, they're not, the trust between them and Bungie, I think, has really fallen. I don't think they have faith in Bungie, what Bungie wants to do, if Bungie even wants to do that. You see what I mean? Anyways,
well, they clearly don't. They don't give a fuck about them.
It's not good news. There's nothing good about this. There really is nothing good about this. I think like some people are like, but the retention in Marathon. All right, it's not good. You effectively have two games now, both competing for shit place, and that's not good. That's where Destiny 2 and Marathon is right now.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.
Man. He didn't know, Chad. He didn't know that they would slap him around like a bitch. All I feel is pain. I think, like, even as a collective, I have to repeat myself. I understand how you guys feel. I don't think WoW is in that state yet, and I think that WoW is a little bit more, I don't know, like it's more supported overall by like a lot of different IPs, and it's also integrated into other games, so its retention is a lot higher. But like I do feel like They need to learn the fucking lesson. Like WoW could end up like Destiny, and I do think that like retail WoW and like Blizzard in general is not what it used to be. And I think that like Destiny 2 is kind of like the manifestation of that. Bungie made such amazing games. I might not have played it, but the fact that like it culturally impacted me even as a gamer, like I know what Halo is. I know what Bungie is. I know that there was like a standard that was set. They were competing with so many other great games that were released around about the same time, that it like did make a difference. It did. Oh, you don't imagine they deleted Wrath? I mean, that would suck, wouldn't it? Yeah, I get it. I get what it's like to see a game and it's just being put on life support. Is it time? Yeah, I'm getting a little bit fried. I know I went over time. Hee hee ho ho. Ah. Yeah. Alrighty.
For you.